What's up, y'all? It's your boy Raging Asian. Well, wanted to get on here and talk to y'all a little bit about my AI collection. I've been seeing a lot of videos of cats doing them, their little signature line collections and stuff like that. And they was leaving out a bunch of shit, man. And I was just like, look, I got a pretty sizable AI collection, as you can see, and just wanted to, show y'all some gems. I got some stuff in here that probably a lot of y'all have never even seen before. So let's get into it. Want to get in with start with the original, the Reebok Questions. So I guess if we're gonna start with the original, we got to start with the prototype pair, which is what it basically looked like before AI got signed. He was still in college at the time. This is what it looked like. Hexalite bubbles on one side, no AI, nothing, just straight Reebok. And this isn't, this obviously didn't come out back then, but this is, a retro pair. This came out in, it doesn't say. I think it came out in like 2017, I think. So yeah, this is the prototype pair. And, we gotta get right into it. Gotta have this one. Must have in the collection. This is the Pearl Toe Blue OG. This is the 2012 release. I do have the current release that came out the year before last. But this is the one that started it all. This is the one that he wore in his first game. This is the one that he had on his feet when he crossed MJ up. This is the one. This is the one that everybody knows. So everybody gotta have that one. You don't have that one in the collection and you rock Iverson's, like you slacking. Then of course, another staple. Got the Pearl Reds. This is also a 2012 release. He had these on his rookie year various times. This is actually was one of the harder pairs to get back in the day when they first came out. They only had these in select places. Me growing up in Virginia, that was one of the places that they had them. Me and AI grew up in the same town, Hampton, Virginia. This was one of the hard ones to get right here. The Pearl Reds was limited. You couldn't get them everywhere. It was like Philly, Virginia, and I think maybe New York. I mean, it wasn't really too many places that had the pearls. But what they did have is this one. This is the special anniversary, 10th anniversary edition. It's got the special box, an AI in the front. But this was a fairly common OG color, which is also a red toe, but it's got the suede on the tip. This is a 2006 release. They did retro them in 2020, which I have over here in the stacks. But yeah, this is probably my favorite of the OG. The OG colors was this one. And we do got one more OG colorway. Let's dig in the crates, see where it is. There's just mounds and mounds of endless pairs of questions over here. Or, oh, yeah, here we go. All the way down at the fucking bottom. Yeah. Here's the last of the OG colorways. This is the New Year's Eve colorway. It's also a 2012 release. The original one that came out in 96, 97 didn't have a patent leather toe. It was just straight all black leather, but it did have the gold hits. So the patent leather tip is I guess like an add-on, you could say. I mean, the 10th anniversary pair had a patent leather tip as well, but the original did not have patent leather. So a lot of people didn't know that, but this is a different part from the original, but the colorway is all OG though. This one was kind of hit or miss when it came out back in the day. A lot of people didn't really rock with this one too much. I mean, you had some people that liked it, but it wasn't as popular as the red and blue ones. The red and blue ones were always more popular than these, but there was it was definitely a splash, something different. So we'll get into this pair. This pair right here is called the Flash Red. This is probably my favorite pair of Questions that I have in my collection. This is a 2000 release. They never retroed this colorway. It only came out that one time. As you can see, it's in fantastic condition. I mean, I have worn it. It's not DS, but I mean, it could pass. It's a pretty clean shoe. I mean, as you can see, black leather, Philly colorways, white, black, red. And this one was special. Like I really had to go through some hoops to get this one. This was also one of those colorways that wasn't everywhere, and it was a little tough to track this one down. And I mean, as with most original release Reeboks, the insoles in these things ain't worth a shit. So if they're this old, most of the time they're not gonna have the OG insoles, because they turn into powder after some years. That's pretty much all of these things. But these I've had since high school, and it was this was a tough one to get. I had to hunt for these, and this reminiscent of the All-Star game, as most of y'all that were around. Most of the old heads, as y'all young bucks like to call us, was around. He had a pair he wore in the All-Star game, which I actually have too. Let me see. It should be in here somewhere. Ah, yeah, here you go. These here. This is also 2001 release, 2000 release. This is the pair that he wore in the 2001 All-Star game. Just simple black and white, black on the bottom. This is also it's a pretty significant shoe for us, like AI fans, because the 2001, those of y'all that saw the 2001 All-Star game, that was it's a hell of an All-Star game. That was probably the best season of AI's career. He was the scoring champ, led the league in steals, the MVP, made it to the finals that year. He pretty much did everything but win a chip. So, I mean, that All-Star game was significant, which he also was the MVP of. He had this on his foot. So, I mean, it's another one of those ones that it's cool to have in the stash, because it's a moment in time. A lot of people didn't really catch the significance, especially a lot of the younger crowd. Most people don't even know who AI is, but that one right there, you go look up that 2001 All-Star game. It's on YouTube. It's a good game. Here you go. Here's another one. I'm gonna have to take the blow dryer to these. For those of y'all that don't know, a blow dryer gets rid of all of the cloudiness. This here is also, this is probably my second favorite question in my collection. It's all black, red patent, red stitches, red soles. This is a 2005 release. And this one right here is just, man, it's just clean. My favorite color is red, so I'm a bit biased, but I mean, it's just the look of this is just crazy, man. This colorway was outrageous to me. And of course, it came out right before he got traded to Denver. So there was also a blue pair, which I have as well. So, you know, a lot of cats like to have the different color same thing. This was before a lot of that hype that's around it now, that they were doing it then too. This is also a 2005 release, but this is pretty much like the Denver Nuggets colorway, I guess you could say. Black and blue. And, you know, there's some other notable ones. A lot of my fellow old heads really love this one right here. This is the Packer collab from I want to say 2012. And this one it was the other one I didn't have, but I really wanted. It's like the whole shoe is all red, but this one right here this is the one everybody wanted. It goes with the OG Philadelphia jerseys that he wore during his rookie year. They were this color blue with the red writing, white stitch, white outline, and this was a special one right here. This was also one that was pretty tough to get. Reebok was kind of making a resurgence in that time around 2012. A lot of people were starting to get into older Reeboks, Iversons, the Sean Kemps, the Kamikazes, those types of things were actually doing really well. Shaqs and Packer did their little thing for this online, obviously, and it was a hard one to get. Like this colorway was pretty tough to get a hold of. So happy to have that one in the stash. While we talking about Packer, I mean, you got to bring out the other. And got that one in here. Yeah. Talking about Packer. Also from around that same era, you have this pair, which was also a fairly sort of kind of limited pair. This is the Packer MSG Question, which is it's kind of like an all-star shoe, I guess you could say. It was released around all-star time. So it's all full suede. No difference in the toe. It's just all one material, which I was kind of about. But I mean, you know, I've worn them a couple times. I mean, it's a clean shoe. I definitely dig the colors on it. You know, the black with the blue and the purple hits was dope. But yeah, this one was another one of those that hit the little raffle and whatever they had going for it, and it went pretty quick. Like this was around the time where AI retired, so people were kind of, I guess, getting back into the groove of things with him. Like he retired. He didn't play basketball for years when he retired. Like he had been out the league for a minute, but this was around that time where he like formally retired. So a lot of people jumped on that when they put those out there. A lot of people jumped on those. And here we have a little artwork. This is the Question capsule. I think it's just the capsule collab. They call them the wind chills. This one was this is him he had on foot when he did his speech, when he found out that he was a finalist to make it into the Hall of Fame. This is the one he had on his feet. So it's I wanted it because of that. You know, him making it to the Hall was a big thing for me. I'm like diehard Iverson fan, so I mean, I saw him wearing them, and I'm like, oh, those are clean. You know, you got your corduroy, suede, got the nubuck right here. I mean, it's a pretty premium materials on this one, so I just thought it was a dope shoe, man. The gray and the blue, I was like, that's clean. It's a clean look. So I had to jump on that one, but that's, you know, another one of those special ones. And I can do this Reebok question shit for days. So, you know, I got a few more in here. I guess I could show some of the more current stuff. Like a lot of people didn't really fuck with this one, but I liked it. This is the OG meets OG, the James Harden Iverson collab, I guess you could say. For those of y'all that didn't know, Adidas up until recently actually owned Reebok. So James Harden with Adidas, you know, they were just kind of like, hey, let's make a collab shoe. So this pair is DS. I haven't worn this one yet. I keep forgetting about it, but I really do like the shoe. I mean, obviously, like I said before, red is my favorite color. So I mean, this black and white with the red hits, I mean, it's a sick colorway, sick shoe. This is it's got like the James Harden logo on the back right here instead of the AI number 3, but it was a dope shoe, man. I was kind of surprised that these things sat the way that they did, but you know, most Iverson stuff does nowadays. Not too many people really buy Iverson shoes, which is, I guess, not really a surprise, but you know, because it's not a lot of hype around him anymore. But it's sad. Cause he comes out with some clean stuff. Oh yeah. Those of y'all that don't remember, since this is the year of the Olympics, this was in commemoration of Allen Iverson's Olympic team, 2004, which we won the bronze. So he's got his number 4 on the back. But yeah, these should have came out back in the day. Because of those of y'all that remember around that time, that was when the Reebok Question 2 came out, which was the most horrible piece of shit Reebok Question that ever came out. And it was a really terrible shoe. And that was what he wore in the Olympics, was that, and not this. This should have been what came out back then. But I saw him. I thought it was dope colorway, dope concept. So I went ahead and grabbed them. I think I've worn them like once. I mean, they came out in 2021. So I mean, it's a fairly newer release. We got over here. Oh yeah, this is the 2020 release of the OG suede toes, but this one here is a little closer than my 10th anniversary pair to the original. It's got the speckled laces. It's got the blue outline around the Spectre symbol here, and on the number 3 in the back. You know, this is what the original actually looked like. Had the blue hits. For those of y'all that didn't see the original, this toe cap actually was different when they first dropped. The original one had a smaller toe cap with no stitch, and it had the little Spectre symbol on it. But since there was no stitch in the way AI played, toe cap would come off. So they switched it up to this toe cap mid-season, so it wouldn't come off anymore. So a lot of people didn't know that either. But yeah, this is not how it originally looked, but this is what they ended up going to because of performance, I guess, reasons. It wouldn't come off his foot. But yeah, this is the 2020 release. Funny story, I actually bought this shoe the day that I moved into this house. I actually took a break from putting my shit in the house to go buy this shoe and come back because I thought it would actually sell. Like, I thought people were going to eat this shit up, and they surprisingly they didn't, but I thought it was actually going to sell. So I had to put shit on hold to go and get these. Yeah, you right, it is. But I mean, when that shoe hadn't been out for so many years, I thought people was gonna fly on that one. So I was like, I gotta make a decision. And this is so he did make these in low cuts. This is one of my low top pairs. This is the white Carolina blue. This pair is actually DS. There's another one that I forget that I have. So it's terrible when you get so much shit that you forget you have stuff. It's a little ridiculous, but you know, this is this, I just thought this was a clean shoe. I mean, I like North Carolina blue. I'm a Tar Heels fan. You know, kind of born into it. You know, I got a lot of family in North Carolina, so I mean, they kind of got me on that at an early age, and I always liked the color. So I mean, seeing these, they did come out with a pair similar to this back in the day, and it was, I don't know, it was just dope. It was a dope shoe for me. I had to get it. But they do have a few other lows. This one here says he actually wore these on the cover of I want to say it was a Slam magazine, maybe, or no, maybe a Vibe. It was some magazine he was on the cover of, and he had this one on his foot. It was like around the time he retired, and I thought it was a pretty clean look. You know, the bottom is supposed to look like this. It's like a milky kind of yellowish color. The colorway that they called it was called the White Hots. But I mean, I used to call them the Pure Monies just because it's, you know, silver hits on it, all white. So, I mean, clean shoe overall. I mean, since moving out here to Arizona, I mean, I definitely haven't worn this because you don't wear white shoes in Arizona. I mean, that's just asking for drama. Because they will get dirty. What else do we got over here? Oh, yeah, yeah. This was another one that I was kind of excited about when it dropped. This is the Stash collab with the Reebok Question. This is obviously the red pair. They did come out with a blue one as well. It looked pretty much the exact same as this, but it was blue instead of red. And like this black panel right here was like a darker gray color. And it was decent, but you know, the red one to me this one was way better, so I of course had to get it. And this was, I want to say, like around that same era when Reebok was resurging, so like around 2013 or so. And this one did fairly well. I mean, there were some places that you could find it, some hidden spots. We had a mall back in Virginia. Well, actually, it was in Maryland, called Forestville Mall. Very low-key mall. There was no signs anywhere on the outside of the building. It basically looked like it was shut down. But you go in there, they had every sneaker store. It was like sneakerhead heaven in there. They had everything. And since a lot of people didn't know about it, a lot of stuff would be sitting in there. So it's an easy place to go cop some stuff. This here, for those of y'all that know about Iverson's basketball game, his Iverson Round Ball Classic. This is the Reebok Question they made for that game. So a lot of the kids that played in the game actually wore this shoe. And I like the concept, and I like the color. I thought the black and the blue with the montage on the midsole was dope. So this was another one that you didn't really. This one was kind of an online thing. I mean, you didn't really see this in stores. I mean, they did end up in some outlets, which is, you know, pretty commonplace nowadays. But I mean, this is got the nubuck upper suede tip. And it's clean and kind of understated, but the midsole gives it away. The original one that they came out with was like Georgetown colors, so it was like gray and blue, and a little bit more like this. But I mean, this one right here was, to me, it was clean, so I had to grab a pair. I got them on sale too, I'm pretty sure, because I mean, you get everything. Anything AI puts out nowadays will go on sale. So I mean, it's not really hard to find good deals on anything with Allen Iverson. I got quite a few things, so I guess we could bring this one out. This is the Jada Kiss colorway, the A5. For those of y'all who weren't around back then, he made a commercial with Allen Iverson. Made two of them actually, for the Answer 5 and the Answer 6, hence the name, the A5. And this was, I want to say 2016 is when this one came out, and this was basically in commemoration for the commercial, for the first commercial that they did together. And then I guess we could jump into these. This shoe is really old, as you can tell. This is the Denver Nuggets colorway. It's got a carpet inside basically, and yeah, you can tell I wore these a lot. Like this one was, it's pretty dope when it came out. They did retro these, but the retro pair didn't look quite like this one. So I mean, I have it over here. It's over here at the bottom of this, but yeah, they did retro it, and I was a little disappointed because I thought it was gonna look like that, but it definitely doesn't look like that. Yeah, this is the retro pair that came out recent. So similar, but not quite. As you can see, little differences here. They don't have as much yellow on this one as they do on this. Shade of blue is slightly different. But yeah, this one is more so a representation of the PE colorway, I guess you could say. Where Iverson actually wore on foot during the game. The one that he wore didn't look like the one that came out. It looked more like this one. So I guess that's why they made this one the way that they did. But I mean, this was something that I wanted to get just because of I guess you could say nostalgia. I was just like, why not? And it was on sale, so I was like, why not? I'll go ahead and grab it. course, we have, if you were going to get anything retroed, this is the one that they made for Kobe when he died. This represented his sneaker free agency when he was wearing everything under the sun. He wore a pair that looked like this. So they brought those back out. So I was like, yeah, you know, being a fan of Kobe and his shoes, I was just like, you know, that's something that would be dope to have in the collection. So I had to grab a pair for the stash. I haven't worn them yet, but you know, I'm gonna get around to it probably this summer. Like I'm gonna have to break out my Reeboks this summer. So that's about most of my Reebok questions. There's a few more scattered around in here, but I don't think it's anything of significance. I have like a pair of low top joints in here with somewhere, but I'm like, you've seen all of the good ones, all of the meaningful ones, I would say. So he did have his Reebok Answer series started next, which I have a few of those. Now, this here, this is the first of his Reebok Answer series. This came out in 97-98 season. So beginning or into 1997. This is a 2012 release. And probably the best retro, or the last of the good retros of this shoe. They did bring out one 2006, this 10th anniversary release, the same color. And that one was good too. But this was the last good one right here, where it still has the bubbles here in the midsole, which are hard plastic that's separated from this rubber. It's got the bubbles at the bottom, but this was the one where he wore in his famous crossover commercial that I'm sure a lot of you probably don't even remember, but he had this on in one of them. He had two, but the original, just right, you know, left to right cross commercial, he had this pair on. I had a pair of these as a kid back in the day, and the commercial was the coolest shit that we had ever seen on TV at the time. So I mean, we all wanted it. And the one where he had the fancy crazy ass spin move, he was wearing this colorway in that one. This is the latest retro, which I think was last year. And I was a little disappointed with these. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was a little disappointed with these. Granted, I love the shoe, the significance of the shoe. It's a great shoe, clean color. But these bubbles right here in these retros are not separate. Like, it's actually a part of the midsole. They just painted it gold, which to me is just cheap. It's like, well, you couldn't like make that separate. Like, I don't know. Reebok cheaped out on these, but I still like the shoe, so I had to get it anyway. And the reason for me wanting that so bad and having to get it is because here we have a lot of boxes. A lot of people don't remember this box, but this is the original box. And this is my OG pair of the red and white Answer ones. This is an actual 1997 release. I've had this shoe for forever. It was actually a little bit too big for me when I first got it. And surprisingly, it's held up decent. I mean, it's got like a little slight separation right here, but I mean, overall, it's still very much wearable. I mean, am I ever gonna wear it again? Probably not, but I mean, who knows? Maybe I will, just for old man purposes. I might pull this out and wear it again one day. But I mean, it's not a bad looking shoe for something that's almost 30 years old. I mean, it's held together pretty well. Then after that one, he had the Answer 2s, which I don't have any of those because I thought it was terrible. I did not like that shoe at all. But you know, it was the DMX Light is what they called it. It was just like a lighter version of an Iverson shoe, so it was real light, and it just didn't look good to me. But going from that one, jump into this. This is the Answer 3. This is an OG release from 1998, which I've had since then. It's like an 8th grader, I think, when I got this. No, 7th grade. But yeah, this is they did retro this shoe last year in this colorway. And I gotta say, I'm a little let down, Reebok. I'm a little let down. Because on foot, I actually have a retro pair. And it's dope. I like the colorway of this one as well. I want to get a retro pair of this one, but they didn't ever release that in the store. But this one, I just went down to Foot Locker and bought, and it's not the same. I mean, there's a lot of things about the Answer 3s now that is not. It's not like this one. The materials are not nearly as nice. I said they're about, the comfort is decent. I mean, I think this one is actually a little heavier, a little more solid, just because it's, this is like actually real suede or nubuck. This is real leather. They don't, the quality of materials on this is a lot better than the ones that I'm wearing on my foot. Just keep it a buck. Like, it's not even a comparison. And then from here, we jump into the Answer 4, which is probably his most famous shoe other than the Question, I would say. I mean, I think that's the one that everyone knows. And that's probably his calling card, This is it's red and white colorway. This is a 2012 release. And I mean, these were done pretty decent, I would say, comparatively. Now, he did, of course, retro these things again fairly recently, which I'll pull out a couple of those here in a minute. Those are better. The newer retros are better than this one, but the 2012 one was solid. It's a pretty solid release. He wore this shoe during his MVP season. This is easily the best season of his career. I mean, he did everything, as I said earlier, with this all-star shoe. But this was the current shoe of that season, was this one. And this shoe brings back a lot of memories, man. I remember this was my freshman year in high school when these came out, and people were going nuts. Again, I grew up in Virginia, so it's Allen Iverson was the guy. And that shoe came out and everybody wanted it. I mean, I had pairs of it back then too. I mean, it's one of those shoes that everybody was kind of, I guess, waiting for, in a sense, because it was coming into a new season, and AI was kind of doing his thing at the time, and people were really really seeing what he was going to do. You know, there was a lot of rumors about him getting traded away from Philly, and you know, he ended up not getting traded, but there was a lot of drama going on with AI at the time. So a lot of people were really looking to see, you know, what was going to happen with him in his career at that point. And yeah, I mean, that was a shoe that it was fairly anticipated. A lot of people were looking to get it. A lot of people wanted it. So yeah, it was a special time in NBA lore for me, I guess you could say. This here is another 2012 release. This is the they call it the finals pair, but he didn't. He wore this colorway in the playoffs. He wore this shoe the night that he received his MVP trophy. They were playing against the Raptors, Vince Carter and them. I don't remember what game it was. I want to say it was it game 3? It was like game 2 or game 3. And this was the one he had on his foot that night. I just remember it was the night he got his MVP trophy. He was wearing this. So to everyone that at Reebok and whoever else that dubbed this the final shoe, this is not the final shoe. He was not wearing this in the finals. Playoffs, round 2. And back then, when this shoe came out, or when that playoff series was happening, the shoe wasn't out. Like, we didn't get that shoe. We had a low top version of it that dropped for the public, but we didn't get the mid top. We didn't get that one. I got a couple more of those in here. Oh yeah, this is another 2012 release. This is the Fill-A-Pack colorway. These did not drop originally. This was like I said, for the 2012 retro series, this was a new colorway. They did have one that was basically the opposite of this, where it was all red with the white. And this was just basically, you know, a commemoration of like the original Philadelphia colorway. You know, they eventually did go back to wearing red, white, and blue. But for a while, you know, during Allen Iverson's run, I mean, you know, you see it, they wore this. So, I mean, it was this will forever be known as the Allen Iverson era jerseys, because after he left, that was when they went back to wearing red, white, and blue. We got another one, 2012 release. This is the, I guess they just call it the away colorway. I mean, this is another one he wore throughout the season. This did come out back in the day. This was one of the OG colorways. I remember I had them back then, but it was a little different. Like this whole sole right here with this was all like it was all 3M back then. So it was more silver than this like gray color that it is now. They did retro this pair again recently. I think it was probably 2 years ago. And they made it a little bit more closer to the OG, but it still basically looks like this. So I mean but this was a clean shoe. I like this one a lot. This is probably one of my favorite ones. But I mean, this, like I said, the answer 4 is probably his most well known outside of the question. Like, everyone knows what the answer 4 is. That's kind of the flagship shoe, I guess you could say. This is one of the more current retros. This one is from I think 2019, I think. Not sure. Can't remember. All of this shit runs together for me sometimes. But yeah, this is the step over shoe, as they call it. And this one came, this is the first release of the step over, because they released them twice. They released it in, I want to say it was 2019. It was either 2018 or 2019, and then they dropped it again in I think it was 2021 or 2020. It was like late 2020 or early 2021 they dropped it again. But yeah, this was a PE colorway back in the original release. For those of y'all that don't know, the step over, they call it the step over shoe because that infamous clip of him crossing up Tyronn Lue and hitting the jumper in his face, and then he steps over him. This is the one that he was wearing on his feet. And this was like I said, a PE. Like, we didn't get that, but because of the iconic status of that moment, they had to release the shoe. And for old heads like us, we ate that shit up. It's like, what? They're dropping that? No, you had to get it. So it's like, if you're an AI fan, then you gotta have this. This is something that you remember from your childhood, and it's just like, it's so just a more of a, sneakers are all about telling stories, man. It's like, for those of us that have been into these things forever, sneakers, sports, these things tell a lot of stories about what you were doing. Like, you see something like this, do you remember exactly where you were at? You remember when you first saw it? This is one of those ones, man. Like, everybody knows that moment. I remember as watching that live as it happened and losing my fucking mind, because it was like, oh shit, they're gonna win this game, And it was a moment. It was a moment. Along with that moment, you also have the moment of these, which was also a PE. This dropped, I think it was in 2022 or 2021 maybe. But this one was also a PE. He wore this in the finals. So unlike that other shoe that I showed you earlier, where they were calling it the final shoe, this one he actually did wear in the finals. I want to say he wore this one in I want to say it was game 5. It was either game 4 or game 5. He had this one on. And this was also one of those moments, because this is one of those moments where you knew it was over. You knew AI had a good run. But this colorway was rumored to have came back a few times. They called it they called them the flips, because they had the original, which was the black with the white. So the pair that I pulled out earlier basically is the original, where they said that it was the finals colorway, but it's not really a final shoe. This one right here, yeah. This was what the original low top release that we got in 2001 was this. And then they had this version of it, which is the flip. So it's this was just the PE of the PE brand of this. But yeah, I like this one better. So it was one of those must-haves for me. I had to pick this one up. I've worn it a couple times, but yeah, this is another one of those moments in time for me. Like, this whole video for me has been a stroll down memory lane, I guess you could say. And then we could jump from that. We'll jump into the next one, which is the Answer 5s. aka the Jadakiss Reeboks. Oh, I didn't even show y'all this one. Pull this one out. Step back for a second. These are another pair of the answer ones. And this is actually a special pair. Like this pair here, they retro. This is a, I think, 2013 release. But this was originally an Asia exclusive pair. It's all red patent leather, like the original patent leather shoe was all blue. It was like a navy blue color. But this all patent leather red pair was only available in Asia. And the original, instead of having the silver hits like this does, the original one had gold hits. But other than that, it was basically the same. And yeah, they bought this one out to commemorate that. So I thought it was dope that they bought this one out, because I mean, this is one of those ones that came out that we didn't have a chance to buy. So when they did bring it out, it was, you know, it was a no-brainer for me. But yeah, like I was saying, go into the answer fives. This is my original pair. As you can see, it's a launch product release, which you know, you had to be old in order to get that. Yeah, these are my originals, 2001. As you can, it was like it was like late 2001 when they dropped. But this particular pair, he wore in the 2002 All-Star game. And as you can see, it says it on the back right here, 2002 All-Star. They did retro this, and the retro pair did not have this on the back, which I don't understand why it didn't have it on the back, but they didn't put it on the back. It's like you can see these are, you know, these are pretty well worn. I've worn these things a lot over the years. Had them since high school. I might have to take them in and do some resto work on them, bring them back to glory. But this was I don't know, this was a cool shoe when it came out. I mean, it was the only one that looked like this, like with a color pop, you know. They had the pearlized red thing on the front here. The cover kind of was a reminiscent of the Question with the pearl toes. So I mean, this was, all of the other colorways of this shoe that dropped were just like black or white, you know. They didn't really have any color to them, but this was the only one that did. Yeah, these are looking a little beat up, man. They're starting to show their age now, so I might have to go ahead and put them in the ice box for a minute. Try to bring them back.
You got any more, or are you pretty much wrapping up?
Oh no, I got more. Oh, I got a lot of more. Let me stop. Oh yeah, here you go. Oh shit. This is the answer 5. This is actually a retro pair that came out it's like 2018, I think. And again, you know, Reebok with these retros, man, I'm gonna need y'all to get it together. This one wasn't as bad as the answer 3s, but it was still kind of slacking. Like this silver cover on the front of these is just regular silver, but on the original it was all of the silver was all 3M on the original, but on this one is not. So they did kind of cheap out a little bit on these, but I did want to get a retro pair, because as you saw, my original pair is starting to look like they're gonna fall apart at any minute. So I wanted to get a pair that I could wear. So, and I wasn't a big fan of how they did the All-Star, because they didn't do it right. So, I mean, granted, this one isn't right either, but it's closer than that one. So I was just like, yeah. Plus, I kind of wanted a different colorway. I wanted something that I didn't already have. So I was like, I'll just get this. And it was on sale, so why not? Then from there, we could jump into the answer 6. Oh, and I guess I could, out of relevance, when they did, we talked about the Jadakiss commercial. This is the pair that Jadakiss was wearing in the commercial. Hence why the Jadakiss question is black and silver, because this is the one he was wearing in the commercial. So they just kind of tried to make it look like this as much as they could. And I'm going to the answer 6, which Jadakiss also played a part in. These have never retroed. The answer 6 hasn't retroed, so this is an original pair from 2002 or 2003. These have actually held up pretty well for the most part. I'm kind of surprised myself that they haven't started to look crazy, but they yeah, these definitely look better than the answer 5s that I got in there. Those are starting to age, but these yeah, they held up pretty well. It was like this one was, kind of simple. He went back to a very simplistic design with this one. I wouldn't say that it was one of my favorite Iverson shoes, but I mean, it was a decent shoe for its day. They didn't do too terrible with that one. Then, the answer 7 came after that, which I don't have any of those because I didn't like it. The answer 8 I did like, but I don't have those anymore. I did used to have a pair. Then the 9s I like, don't have any of those. The 10s I hated. And then did you go into the answer 11s, which I do have some of those. And the answer 11s were his Denver Nuggets days. So this here is a pair of the answer 11s. The Immortals, as they like to call them. This is the black and yellow colorway. That was made to go with the alternate away jerseys, which, you being a Denver guy, you probably remember those jerseys. The dark blue joints with the yellow writing, that one was made for that.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's like, I do have the jersey to go with it. This was probably my favorite pair of that shoe. This colorway right here. This is probably my favorite colorway of that one. It's pretty clean. Again, this is an original. They did never retro this. They probably never will. But yeah, this is from 2007 when these came out. So I mean, this is was one of the more common pairs, but I mean, this was probably one of the cleaner ones. It's my favorite. Yeah. And I have another one too. I have the All-Star pair, but that's like in my hoop shoe cabaret inside the house, which I keep all of my shoes that I'm just gonna take to the basketball court. So, and then this is the box is probably on its last leg, but this is the answer 12. This is probably one of my favorite Iverson shoes in my collection. This shoe came out when he played that year in Detroit. And yeah, I do have the jersey to go with it because he was wearing number 1. And it is also the debut of this logo, the AI logo. Because, you know, at first he always had the I3, but, you know, going there and wearing number 1, you know, he had to change it up. So he had this logo and the number 1. But this colorway is probably the cleanest one. It has the Invictus poem on the back, which is the shoe is called the Answer 12 Invictus. But yeah, this was solid shoe, solid colorway. It's very comfortable. I have a black pair of these that I actually hoop in, and it's probably one of the most comfortable shoes to hoop in that I've played in a long time, especially from Reebok. This is always going to be one of those ones for me. I really enjoyed that. Oh, behind you. Yeah, toss me one of them. Appreciate you. This is also the same shoe, Answer 12. This is the Denver colorway, because this shoe came out right before he got traded. So this was the one that he was supposed to wear. And then before the, you know, basically like the first month of the season, he got traded to Detroit. So then that one came out. But yeah, this is this first one. Obviously it's got the number 3 still, and it's got the I3 logo on it as opposed to the AI logo and the number 1. But yeah, this is I don't know. I like this one too, but I don't like it as much as that one. This one is this one's way cleaner, way cleaner. So I'm like, this was the one. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it was basically just the question 3s, which was not, a lot of people didn't like, but I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, it was better than the question 2s. He also wore this shoe as a Denver Nugget. Actually, he really wore it a lot. Like he probably wore this shoe more than his Answer shoe. So this was, saw these a lot on the court, especially this colorway in particular, which is why I bought it. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that about sums it up. I mean, that's a pretty quick rundown, I guess you could say, of a lot of the Iversons in my collection. Now, there's probably a few that I didn't show, but you get the point. So, you know, I just wanted to share that with y'all, let y'all see a little bit of the collection. I've been getting a lot of people hitting me up asking me for, you know, collection bids, and they want to see more of the collection. So I was like, you know, let's start off with this one. You know, a lot of people don't really show too many Iverson shoes, so I thought I would show some a little different. But yeah, I mean, if y'all like seeing that, I mean, y'all can get at me on IG at the Raging, you know, at Raging Asian. Let me know what y'all think, and y'all want to see some other shit in the collection, like some of my Jordans, my Kobe's, Dunks, foams, whatever. I mean, I got all of that shit. So I mean, y'all let me know what y'all want to see me do next, and we'll do another one of these. So appreciate y'all for checking out my Iverson collection. You know what I'm saying? Letting me show it off a little bit. And like I said, hit me up. Let me know what y'all want me to do next. I'll show something else. Till next time, holla at y'all.